it's Tina and I am back, and I have a fun video for you guys today because we are doing a fun, colorful look, but I am also partnering with Juvia's Place for this video. So after my last video where I did a first impression of their foundation sticks, which I'm actually wearing in this video, and there is a full review video coming up for this because I've tested these, alright? I've put them through the ringer and I found like the best way to use them. After that initial video, they reached out to me again and they were like, hey, so we see that you like the powders in that video. Do you want to do a sponsored video with those powders? And I was like, yes, because I just so happened to fall in love with that powder on my own in that video, and they didn't send that to me. I actually went in Ulta and picked it up because I wanted to do a full face of Juvia's Place. So I went in for the correct shade of concealer, the liquid concealer, the I Am Magic concealer, and then I saw the powders and I'm like, perfect, I can grab the powder as well. So I fell in love with the powders and they saw that I was enthusiastic about it and they were like, all right, perfect, let's collab on this, let's sponsor a video and we'll send you the other shades. I also went ahead and purchased the 2 remaining shades. So there are 5 shades available. 5 are available on their website, but in Ulta stores there are only 3 shades available, and I wanted to have all 5 shades to share with you guys, and I happened to catch them on sale. So that's another good thing. Juvia's Place always has a sale, and there is Black Friday coming up, and you know their Black Friday sales are fire. So let's go ahead and jump into this get ready with me. I'm gonna show you how I got this look because we're using a fun Juvia's Place palette as well. This is the Saharan 2. Yes, very colorful, very bold, very beautiful. So we're going to use that palette for the eyes, and then once we get to the skin, we'll talk all about the powders. Now, as usual, I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and I'm going to go in with a little bit of my vitamin C serum. This is from Timeless. It's the 20% C plus E plus ferulic acid serum. I keep this in the refrigerator for longevity and also because it gives it a nice, cool, refreshing feeling when you apply this in the morning. So I'm gonna apply this all over my skin. Since I'm going out for the day, I wanna have my skin nice and prepped. And vitamin C serum helps with hyperpigmentation. So I have a few scars from recent breakouts that I want to make sure kind of fade over time. So I'm gonna apply that all over my skin and allow it to sink in. And this serum sinks into the skin really well because it's more of a watery consistency, so it doesn't leave behind a really shiny, oily, greasy film at all. And as you can see, I already have my brows filled in, and I applied concealer under my brows as well as a really sticky primer. I love using a sticky primer with the palette that I'm going to put to use because it just helps the colors to pop a little bit more. So the palette we're going in with today is the Saharan 2 palette by Juvia's Place, and it has these really beautiful, bold, intense colors. We have neutrals and we have a pop of color. And the first shade I'm going in with is the shade Taza, which is this orangey brown shade. And I'm going to apply that in the outer V and outer crease area using a Sonia G Detail Pro Brush. And I'm going to just buff that in so that it blends out seamlessly. Now I'm going in with the deep burgundy shade, which is Zora. And I'll apply that more on the outer lid, not so much in the crease area. I'm just trying to get a pop of red color against the lid. And I'm kind of just pushing that into place with the brush, not really blending too much because I just want to deposit that color. And then I'm going to go in with the darker brown shade, which is Fez. And I'll use a smaller blending brush. This is from Eddie Funkhauser. I don't recommend getting this brush because the one I have is very soft, but the one that they have available now, based on the information I have, is not as soft, and I don't want you to get a scratchy brush. So just a smaller blending brush in this shape, and I'm applying that deeper, darker brown to add dimension and depth, but I don't want it to overwhelm the look too much, so I'm keeping it just on that outer V area. Now let's go in with a shimmery shade from the palette. This is the shade Nomad. This is a shimmery cranberry shade, and I'm applying that on the center of the lid using a Beauty Blender eyeshadow brush, and that color picks up beautifully. I don't even have to do much at all on that primer. Beautiful. And then I'll go in with the lightest shade from the palette. This is Aziza, and I'm going to apply that on the inner lid and inner tear duct with the same brush and just blend it inwards, just pulling it lightly inwards onto the inner lid and inner crease. I think I also want to grab the peachy shade, which is Marrakesh, and I'm gonna pop that right on the inner lid, so right next to the tear duct, but not all the way into the center of the lid, just to brighten up that area a little bit, and so the cranberry doesn't overtake it. But I'll grab a little bit of the cranberry just to make sure the edges blend well. Alright, so I have some shimmer on the inner crease that I want to blend out a little bit so we don't have like a harsh line. So I'm just using the Sonia G brush. I cleaned it off and I'm just buffing using circular motions to blend that crease out a little bit more. Now there's no shade I can use as a highlight from that palette, so I'm just gonna go into the NAMIB palette and grab this ivory shade and pop it on the high point of my brow. And this ivory shade, it has a little touch of shimmer in it, so it's not gonna give us just a flat matte finish. And I'm just gonna use a MAC 242 to blend over the edge of the crease colors and blend it downwards onto the brow bone. I'm also gonna actually grab some of this mustardy shade and apply that on the inner crease to really buff down that shimmer so it doesn't look as pronounced. It's gonna give us more of a subtle inner crease where that shimmer is just overwhelming things. I don't know, I find that the inner crease, when I apply color there, it just gets too shimmery and I don't like the look of that. So let's just create a little bit of a better effect. Yeah, good. Now let's work on the face. I'm gonna kind of speed through this because this is not the focus of the video. And I do have a full demonstration and review video coming up for these guys. These are the foundation sticks from Juvia's Place. So stay tuned for that. So I'll just zoom through this a little bit and I'll pop up the shades that I'm using as I go. So here you have the skin all done. I have my foundation down, I have some concealer on, and a little bit of contour in. I know, right? So let's go ahead and get into the stars of the show, the Juvia's Place loose powders. So under the eyes, I'm gonna use the shade Kalahari, which is more of a banana peachy shade. So it has a yellow undertone, but it's a little warmer than the typical banana, which can be very yellow, like very light pale yellow. This one has a little bit more depth and it has a little bit of peach to it as well. So it's not just a flat yellow. And I'm just gonna apply that over the concealer and under my eyes with a sponge, damp sponge, and just push it up against my lash line just to set the concealer in place and to give a brightening effect under the eyes. So you can see with this color, it gives that lift to the under eyes. It covers up some of my darkness and I'm not just looking stark like I have a harsh light powder under the eyes. And then to set the skin, I'm going in with the shade Gobi, which looks a little bit deep, but it's not as deep as you would think. And I'm just gonna use a kabuki brush, tap that into the cap, and then go over my skin with this powder. It's a beautiful powder, like look, it's just blurring the skin, giving it a beautiful finish, and it's smoothing and blurring at the same time, but it's giving a nice finish without being dry or cakey or looking like just a dry matte powder. So I love the finish of it. because it just gives an overall beautiful effect to the skin. And just using a light finish of it all over the skin, just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm actually gonna go in with the darkest shade just because I did a little bit of contouring. Yeah, I'm gonna really go for it. So I'm using the shade NAMIB, which is the deepest shade. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that on my Scott Barnes 65 fan brush and just apply it to my contour area. And remember, we have the cream stick down, so I'm just defining that a little bit more and also applying it to the hairline, just to give a little bit of a bronzy effect, because this powder is a deeper, more caramelly brown. And let's do a little bit of, you know, a little jawline. Now let's take a look at the skin after all the powder. And I love the finish. As you can see, my skin just looks blurred to perfection. It doesn't look dry and cakey at all. So alright guys, so now that you have seen the powders applied to my skin, I wanted to give you a quick rundown so you have a little bit more details on the powder itself. So like I said, there are 5 shades available overall, but the 5 shades are only available on the Juvia's Place website for now. And the powders retail for $12 on that website, plus you can use coupon codes, and there's always a sale like I said. When I got the 2 additional shades, I actually got it for $8, so that was a win for me. And I was also able to use a discount code to get an additional 10% off my purchase. So that's a win for me. On the Ulta website and in store, they retail for $14, but you can always use the Ulta coupons as well on these products. So you can use their 20% off coupons, or you can use a $3.50 off $15 coupon. So add something else to your purchase to get a further discount. And the 3 shades that are available on the Ulta website are White Sands, which is for light skin. We have Kalahari, which is the banana yellow shade. And then Gobi, which is the warm saffron shade, which you can use all over the skin. So if you want the light shade for pale skin or you want a deeper shade, you will only find that on the Juvia's Place website for now. The packaging is really beautiful. It's just this beautiful coral shade that is signature to their I Am Magic selection. So they have setting powders, concealers, and foundations in this range. And they come in this beautiful coral orange packaging. And they always have African princesses and African queens on their packaging, which I absolutely love. The packaging of the powder is pretty simple, pretty basic, nothing too crazy. It's just a regular sifter jar, and the jars contain 0.45 ounces or 13 grams, which is about like the mid-range of powders. So you have powders that range from like 10 grams to 20 grams. So you get 13 grams in this, and like I said, it's just a regular sifter jar, which you have to be careful with because they can get very, very messy. So what I like to do is tap the cap of the jars first before I open them so I don't get powder flying everywhere. I will tap the cap so all the powder from the edges go down into the center, and then I will work from the lid of the powder instead of going into the jar full on, because it can get very powdery, very messy, which is the one thing that I don't really appreciate. But at this price point, they're not gonna really get innovative and crazy with the packaging, which I can appreciate and I can understand. So like I said, there are 5 shades of this powder available, and I'm gonna show you them up close so you can see the different undertones, and I'll also give you swatches. So we'll start out with the darkest shade, which is what Juvia's Place does. So the first shade up is NAMIB, and it is recommended for deep dark to deepest dark skin tones, and this one has more of a warm bronzy undertone to it, so it's going to give you a beautiful bronze to your look if you are deeper skin tone. And if you use it as a bronzer, which is kind of what I did today, it will give you a beautiful caramelly bronze look to your skin. The next shade up is Gobi, which is recommended for dark to deep dark skin tones. It's the one that I use personally to set my foundation. It is a beautiful powder, and it has more of a caramelly brown undertone, so it can come off a little bit too deep if you are lighter than me. But again, you can use it as a bronzer shade if you're interested in using a loose powder for that purpose. And then you have the shade Kalahari, and this shade is for medium to tan skin tones. This is the one that I have under my eyes. I love the color of this powder because it's a golden, like a golden banana yellow powder, but it has a peachy undertone, so it works great under the eyes to brighten up concealer and just give a lift to the under eye area. And it also helps to cancel out some of the darkness that you can have under there. The next shade is Sahara, which is for light to medium dark skin tones. And this one has more of an ivory look to it. It is more of a peachy tone. This would work under the eyes to brighten it up if you're a little bit lighter than me, or you can use it as an all over skin tone powder if you are a lighter skin tone. And then the lightest shade is White Sand, which is for fair to light skin tones. This shade is a light ivory with a cool beige undertone. So here are the 5 shades swatched on my skin tone. Like I said, Gobi is the one that I use for all over, and I use Kalahari under the eyes and NAMIB as my bronzer shade. The other 2 shades are just a little bit too light for me. All right, now that I've given you all the details of the powder, let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the face. Yeah, good times. Now, let's go ahead and finish up the eyes. On the lower lash line, let's have a little fun. So let's use the blue in the palette. This is the shade Berber, and I'm just gonna apply it on the outer lower lash line, bringing it about 2/3 of the way in. And then let's have even more fun and going in with the minty shade. And I'm gonna pop that on the very inner tear duct using a domed pencil brush from Allure Cosmetics. That's gonna give us a little bit of interest right there on the inner tear duct, but we got to blend that out. So let's just use a clean little fan brush. This is from Scott Barnes. It's the number 61 brush. It's a little fan brush. Isn't that cute? So you can use that under the lower lash line just to blend out the edge of that shade and fade it out. And you can also use it just in little specific areas to blend color out. So I'm gonna blend that on the lower lash line a little bit as well and go around the inner tear duct. Now let's go ahead and do mascara and lashes so I can get out your face. So I'm using my Too Faced Better Than Sex for my upper lashes. Then for the lower lashes, I'm using my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. And I'm gonna apply a bit of black eyeliner on my lower waterline. And for my lashes, I'm gonna pop on the regular wispies from Ardell, which are just simple lashes, very lightweight, but they will give a little bit of volume and length to my lashes. Then once I have my lashes on, I'm gonna go ahead and pinch them together using my Shu Uemura S curler. This is just gonna ensure that they blend seamlessly with my natural lashes. And then I'll go in with a little bit of my Sephora Liquid Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade Black and apply that to the upper lash line. That's just gonna help to conceal the lash band and cover up any exposed glue. And this dries matte, so it's not gonna leave behind a shiny finish. Now let's go ahead and finish up the cheeks. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy. I'm going in with the Saharan Blush Palette Volume 2, and I'm feeling like I wanna go nude. I haven't used the shade Yara to apply to my cheeks because it looks very nude. Like it's just a brown shade, so I don't know how it will look. Oh, see, it comes off a little bit pinky on my cheeks. That's beautiful, actually. This brush is a J201 powder brush from Juvia's Place, and it's available in one of their brush sets, which are actually pretty decently priced if you ask me. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I think a little bit of the color from the brush is also going onto the cheeks, and the color that I used before on the brush is Tau, so it's giving me pretty nice look. I like that a lot. Then for the highlighter, I'm going in with this one here. This is the Heroin Glow 2. This is one of the baked highlighters, and I love the color and finish of this. So this is a very light golden sheen with a little bit, I would say it has like a pinky peachy undertone to it, so it looks a little bit more skin-like. And I'm using an Allure brush for this just to make sure that blends into my skin. I love this brush, and I can't wait for them to come back out with their brushes because I think they do great brushes, especially for the face, to help with blending in skin products. All right, let's do lips, which is not going to be Juvia's Place because I am headed out to go eat. So I'm putting on something very simple. This is one of the Clinique Pop Matte Lip Color Plus Primer in the shade Blush in Pop. It's shade 01. And this is just a really simple, easy pinky nude on my lips. And let's go in with a little bit of gloss. This is from Pat McGrath. It is the shade Flesh Fantasy. And that's just a really beautiful, simple lip look. And I think this is absolutely stunning. And I love how the eyes turned out. They're so colorful and fun, but I feel like a lot of people can still pull it off because it's not like in your face green or blue, except for the lower lash line, which I think is always a fun touch. And I love how my skin looks. What do you guys think? Right? And the lips, love that as well. So here you have it. This is the final look, guys. Again, love how everything worked out. I love these powders. Definitely check these out. And I have something a little bit fun for you guys if you stay tuned to the end of the video. That is a giveaway. So I ended up with extras of the Saharan 2 palette, which is what we used in this look today. So you can get your very own so you can recreate the look. And I also have the Warrior 3 palette. I should probably show you what this one looks like. Warrior 3 looks like this. So another fun, colorful palette. So you can get these 2 palettes. Plus, I have an extra shade of loose powder. This is in the shade Gobi, which is what I use as my all-over face color. And I think this will work on a lot of skin tones, which is why I wanted to give away this shade. If you want to enter the giveaway, I do my giveaways a little bit different because it makes it a lot more easy for me. And this way, it's tailored to just those people who want to enter the giveaway and not just some random person. So if you want to enter it, I have a Google document linked below. I'm just going to have you fill out that document with your name and email address so I can reach out to you if you are the winner. I'm just gonna pick it randomly. That's the random part, but I need you to actually be interested in the giveaway. So fill that out if you're interested, and this will last until December 1st. So I'm gonna close the giveaway December 1st at 12 p.m. Eastern time and pick a winner. So stay tuned. I will email you at the email address that you provide, and I will wait 48 hours. I'm not just gonna give you 24 hours. I'll wait 48 hours for a response. If I don't get a response, I'll just pick another winner and go from there. But it is open to all. Go ahead and feel free to enter down below. And I will also leave links to Juvia's Place where you can pick these different products up, as well as links to Ulta where you can also find these in store and online because they are the official carrier of Juvia's Place. And if you use my code FANCYFACE on the Juvia's Place website, you will get 10% off. So feel free to use my code and share it around. That is an affiliate code, which means I will get a small sales commission off that code as well as you getting the discount. And all the links that I provide down below as well are affiliate links, which means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through those links. If you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss. But if you do shop through my links, thank you so much because it does help me to put right back into the channel. And as usual, I'm going to leave links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat where you should be following me along. Where we have fun, you know, we get into personal stuff. We're a little bit more vulgar, not so PG over there, so be mindful of that, you know. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.